In mountain biking, descending is the best bit, and cross-country riders and downhillers have long debated who has the best skills. Super D is a new format to the Australian season. It's a downhill cross-country race, something for everyone, but it does take a skilled rider to win it. Torrential rain battered the course just prior to the start. With an unpredictable surface, riders needed to compensate for the slimy conditions, and in the battle against the clock, two fresh names made an impact at the top of the score sheet. In the women, Canberra rider Rebecca Henderson put local knowledge to great use, winning the Super D by over 11 seconds and upsetting series leader Jenny King's run of 6 successive race victories. In the men, National Cross Country champion Chris Jongleward set a time early in proceedings that proved very difficult to beat. The best of the locals was Andy Blair, while the final rider on course, winner of the 2 previous round Super D events, Wollongong's Josh Carlson, could only get to within 3.8 seconds of Jongleward's mark. With mild conditions, tacky trails and all the major players in attendance, the stage was set for a preview to how the National Championships might play out in Adelaide in just 1 week's time. Jenny King has been the dominant force in the women's field, with overall wins in the first 2 rounds of the Real Insurance All Mountain Cup. But on home soil, Rebecca Henderson was keen to impress, starting hard and establishing a solid gap on her pursuers Jenny King and national champion Catherine O'Shea. While Henderson's legs were putting in a great performance, her tyres were not. She suffered 4 flats, which eventually cost her the lead.
Into the tech zone yet again.
With Henderson out of the mix, the battle was on between King, O'Shea and Jenny Fay. While she took a couple of laps to warm up, Jenny King showed why she has been the rider to watch in women's cross country, while Catherine O'Shea's form seems to be on the rise just in time for the National Championships.
Now comes across the line, ladies and gentlemen, Jenny King.
King now with a series clean sweep in the Olympic cross country and staking her claim for a potential Olympics berth.
It was a real power course, I think, and the start was extremely fast. It was a fairly flat course, which, I was actually expecting probably not to win today because of that. And I was a little bit lucky in a way when Beck got a flat. I'm not sure how it would have panned out otherwise.
1 minute back in second place, O'Shea was happy with her race.
Yeah, it started really fast. Beck went out really hard, and in the end, Jenny Fay and I had just such a good battle. Every time it opened up to a fire road, it was just a full-on sprint race, and so I'm really starting to feel good. It's exciting.
And after such a strong start, a clearly disappointed Rebecca Henderson rolled in for 4th place.
I was really hoping to get a win on the board today, and especially on the home track. I'm confident on these tracks, and it's quite disappointing.
With all important UCI points towards Olympic qualification on offer, this round of the Real Insurance All Mountain Cup attracted all the contenders.
I mean, early season, but with that said, it's still important to get a good race under the belt.
It's an Olympic year, so the elite riders are focused on the Olympic format. The 2-hour multi-lap discipline is the way these guys will lay claim to a ticket to London, and those will be very few and far between. But within the first kilometre, Jongleward was on the front and in control, though he wasn't able to shake Victorians Paul van der Ploeg and Dan McConnell. Athens Olympian Sid Tabalay joined the trio on lap 3. The pace of the larger group broke Jongleward, and he was soon relegated to 4th place. Winner of the previous round, Dan McConnell slowly pulled away from the group, his superior climbing speed making the difference. In his first year in the elite category, Paul van der Ploeg is performing like riders many years his senior and never let McConnell out of his sights. After 7 laps of the fast-flowing course, McConnell finished the victor with a 35-second buffer to van der Ploeg.
Felt fairly strong early on. I was struggling a little bit technically, but sort of I put it together on sort of the climb, well, the only climb that they really have here, and I sort of was able to open up a bit of a gap and just had to go on with it from there.
Sid Tabalay took the final step on the podium, while Jongleward was philosophical about his 4th placing.
You know, the fitness is not where it needs to be for 2 weeks' time. But I definitely got what I wanted out of today.
The final stage of the All Mountain Cup was a single lap of Mount Stromlo, a 20-kilometre course encompassing all the terrain that the mountain bike park has to offer. Dan McConnell was again the man out front with Taboulet and Van der Ploeg together in pursuit. After the disappointment of the Olympic format race, Rebecca Henderson was looking to prove that with an unhampered run, she had the form to win the elite category. Taking just 1 hour to cover the 20 kilometres, it was the familiar figure of Dan McConnell who crossed the line for the win, with Taboulet and Van der Ploeg swapping their podium positions from the previous day. After breaking away from Jenny King on the final climb, Henderson was a jubilant winner, capping off a weekend of highs and lows for the ACT local.
Jenny challenged me the whole way, and I just got this gap on the climb at the feed zone, and I was putting it in so hard.
Jenny King retains the lead in the Real Insurance All Mountain Cup Series, and with consistent results across the weekend, Andy Blair also keeps the #1 plate in the men's category. Jim Trail for Cycling Central.